Welcome to the Daily Blue. I'm Dr. Richard Inclusion, and this is Journey into Awareness with my co-host, Jamie Love from San Diego. And today we have a very interesting and informative guest, and her name is Nancy Waring, and she is the CEO of Inclusion Now. Welcome, Nancy. Hi, Jamie.
Nancy.
How
Hi,
are
Jamie.
you both?
Hi, Richard. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So tell the
It's always
audience.
wonderful to talk to Nancy.
Yes, she's been on our radio show, Journey into Awareness on Blog Talk Radio, and we had a wonderful interview last July about people with disabilities in the workforce. And she is going to expound on that today on the Daily Blue and Journey into Awareness here on the Daily Blue. So tell us, Nancy, what is your primary focus of your business, and how do you assist employers in being aware of what they need to do to assist people with disabilities in the workplace?
Okay, so first, I work with companies to help them to put together those policies and those procedures so that they can have successful inclusion of individuals with disabilities in the workplace. And ultimately it's about how we relate to each other and communication and being respectful of each other and our abilities as well as the challenges each of us have.
Excellent point. And I recall as a rehabilitation counselor I had to do some of that too, because I would train people with disabilities in certain skills and occupations, and then the next step would be job placement.
Yes.
And one of the biggest difficulties that I had was convincing employers that these people were reliable and good workers, despite their limitations. And some limitations are seen, like mine, because I have cerebral palsy and I use a cane, crutches, and sometimes a wheelchair. So it's real easy to identify what my problems are. But some people have hidden disabilities, which is more of a stigma in society today.
That's true, Richard. 70% of individuals with disabilities, it's non-visual. So people really don't know that they have a disability. Richard, do you know the #1 disability impacting the workforce today, costing about $26 billion worth of lost revenue?
Diabetes mellitus?
No.
Depression?
Depression is the #1 disability that impacts the workforce. Low productivity, as well as many people may take off from work and different reasons.
And I would imagine that if you suffer from an emotional disability, you may not want to reveal it to your employer.
That is correct, because of the stigma attached, which it's amazing considering how many people today do suffer from depression and other mental health disorders and other non-visual disabilities.
Mm-hmm. And also, the most hidden disability out there, which is depression, which people may or may not want to talk about. And what do you think about that, Jamie?
Well, it's my experience, Richard, that I actually went through some depression during my time when I did have a job, and this is my job now. And I'm very happy doing it, but working at a really dingy, dirty place, it tends to cause depression, actually. You know, your work environment can affect your moods. And I did have some depression. I dealt with that, and yeah, I didn't want to talk to my employer about it. You know, I took care of it on my own. But yeah, I can see how that would be a problem for the public.
Yes.
Nancy, can you tell us about depression as well?
I can tell you depression's very difficult for people, as you've said. They don't want to self-disclose the depression for fear that they are going to get fired.
Right.
And it's a real concern, and unless somebody's depression gets really bad that you have to talk to your manager about it,
Yes.
often they won't tell anybody, and it impacts everyone around them. I mean, during the break, we were discussing about how it seems like everybody at some point in their life has depression, or they feel depressed.
That's true.
But
Yes,
really,
that's very true.
yeah.
That's very, very true. We're all depressed at one point or another. How many times do we wake up and we say, what, another day? What am I going to do today? Well, you know what? Your attitude should add up to 100%. Because if you take the letters in the word attitude, it adds up to 100% in terms of the alphabet. So unless your attitude's 100%, you're never going to have a good day. So that's what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. It's about having a good day and having people like Nancy Waring doing what she does for people with disabilities. And my buddy Larry Davis, who's behind the camera, who does sports biz on the Daily Blue. And my beautiful co-host here, Jamie Love from San Diego. So that's all it is. That's where we're coming from, and that's what it's about. It's about attitude and changing our perception of things. Do we really do that? Or do we fake it till we make it?
Well, you know, Richard, Albert Einstein said, the world is a product of your thinking. If you want to change your world, you have to change your thinking. And that goes right there with the attitude. Yes, we have to use that cranium. We have to use what's in between our shoulders, because it's...
Do you know what I noticed, you guys? What I noticed is that the majority of the disabled people that I see in the workplace, like at the airports and at the grocery store, bagging my groceries and helping me so lovingly. Oh, hello. Hi, everyone. Did that just happen?
Yes.
I'm glad I saw that. I can see a little bit of myself. There you go.
Okay, thank you. Little glitch there on the Daily Blue, but that's life. Life is glitchy.
Hey, it happens. It's okay. So what I was saying is that the attitude of the disabled usually is very peppy and very ready to serve and ready to help you.
Yes.
And their work ethic is just amazing.
Yes.
You know, they want to get in there on time.
That's right.
They want to do a good job. They're,
That's right.
getting to it, getting it done.
That's
and
right.
I just want to say that there's I feel that they should be in the workplace. You should give them the opportunity, because some of the best workers I've ever seen have been disabled.
Wow. Think about your opportunities right now that you have in your life. And we'll be back after these messages on the Daily Blue.
Hey Larry, every week I watch your show.
As you should.
And I know so much about sports now. Thank you.
You should be learning about sports. And everybody should be watching all our other shows here on the Daily Blue.
Why are you promoting the other shows? I thought you were the king of the Daily Blue.
That's true, but I'm all about everybody. It's not always all about me.
No, it
all
really
about
is.
the team.
Every day I wake up and it says, today is all about me, Corinne. Don't lie.
I've heard that.
Don't lie. Tune in every week to the Daily Blue and you'll see Sports Biz with LD. And you will get a lot of information, updates in sports, and a little bit about Sports Biz.
And that's me, Larry Davis, Sports Biz with LD.
Welcome back to the Daily Blue and Journey into Awareness. And Nancy, during the break you were explaining a very important point that people are just not aware of. So, as our ending segment, you can explain that, and then we will tell people how to get a hold of you to benefit from your expertise.
Certainly. What I was saying during our break was that we're people first, so we don't go disabled person, disabled people. We're an individual with a disability. So, for example, if Richard would not be a cerebral palsy person. He would be an individual with cerebral palsy. If you have
That
a
makes
visual
more sense.
impairment, you'd be an individual with a visual impairment. You wouldn't say that blind person. So
That's
it's
right.
really, the language, it really is important because we're all people first and we're much more similar and we're all different.
Nancy Waring, thank you for bringing that into our awareness about
Thank you, Nancy.
empowerment
Thank you.
and people with disabilities. You were a wonderful guest, and how can people get a hold of you?
They can go to my website at www.nowinclusion.com. They can call me at 516-456-9945, or they could send me an email at nancy@nowinclusion.com.
And perhaps you'll be doing a show on the Daily Blue in the near future.
That would be great, Richard. And you could be my guest.
Absolutely.
And Jamie.
Absolutely.
Yes!
Thank
And
you.
next
Forgot
week,
your name.
Richard, we're going to have Steve
Steve
Maraboli on our
Maraboli.
show.
Yes. That's going to be a wonderful show.
Okay.
Have a great week. Have a great weekend. And remember to love yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Richard Cherney, Jamie Love, my guest, Nancy Waring, and stay tuned for Larry Davis on Sports Biz. See you next time, everybody.